What is up? Coming to you live from the Cat House in Montebello, California. It's time for Dre's Geek Philosophy Podcast. The February 10th edition, the Monday edition, the day after the Academy Awards edition. How is everybody doing tonight? It's that time. I'm flying solo once more. I didn't feel like summoning in Mr. J.T. Polidor. Didn't want to summon Pete Molini. I'm not sure if he watched the Oscars. It's just me. My wonderful, lovely wife, Rosa Limon, is hanging out with our little boy, little tiger. He just turned one. I don't know if you guys picked that up. He's in the background, letting us know he's doing his little tiger roars. He just turned 1 month yesterday. He is 1 month. You got the little Elmo sticker right here. He is 1 month old as of yesterday. Time flies when you're a parent. It is crazy. I don't know. Time is a relative concept. I'm sure all of my parents out there, you guys are already aware of this. Time is just such a relative concept. 1 month, and one part of my brain, it feels like it's been 1 week, and the other part of my mind, it feels like it's been 3 months. But no, in the actual scale of measured time, it has just been 1 whole month of our little boy. It's been 1 month since our little guy joined us. Our family of 2 became 3, or if we count the cats, our family of 4 turned into 5. And it's been a hectic. We're starting to kind of get a rhythm with our little guy. Hey boy, they were walking on by. Hi son, I'm on the air. Daddy's on the air. Oh, he's so cute. It's like he can almost see me. Yeah, something else I learned. Like, yeah, he can only see so far. Like, he's looking at me, but I think he's just looking at the blur that sounds like his father. Fascinating. Children. Yeah. Last week, we had our first poo-splosion. My poor wife had to catch the flack of that. I've been waiting for mine. I know my time is coming. I've mentally prepared for the literal whirlwind of shit. Yeah, it's crazy. But you know what was really cool though this past weekend? Because we got to do some baby talk off the bat here. My wife and I and our little one, we went out. We actually all 3 of us stepped out of the house for the first time, which was not a doctor's visit. We went to go get our taxes done. We want to get that out of the way early. It's our first time filing taxes as a married couple, and yeah, that was an adventure. And that was all my fault. Thanks, Covered California. But the fun thing that happened, like, so I was basically taking care of the little dude while my wife was handling most of the affairs. And I'm sitting there, and we had him in, like, we brought him in with the car seat, and he was just sitting there. And I got the best cacophony of pictures, like, across a 7-minute span, showing his entire range of emotions. Our little boy has the most expressive face. It's like, I'm sure lots of other parents feel this way about their, my little one's special. Well, to us, to me and my wife, our little dude is so special and amazing. I got so many cute photos, and one that just made my wife and I laugh for 15 minutes. Our little boy is a hilarious young man. Close friends, if you want some of those photos, you have to contact me directly, because our little boy is not really going up on social media. There has to be something exceptional for us to post something on social media for our little boy. But for my close friends, I will send you all the photos that you care for. Or all the photos you can stand. Which I'm sure for most of you will not mind being deluged with photos. But yeah, that's going on. Little boy's 1 month old. I'm sure he'll be 1 year old before we know it. And I'm going to be like, oh my god, he's running around. He's tearing through all my nerd shit. Oh my god, we have to hide everything. Put pads on everything. But no, we have time. Try not to panic. There is no panic in this world. Honestly, the only people right now that should be panicking are people who work for GameStop. Something I meant to touch on with Mr. J.T. Polidor when he was here last week, but we didn't get to touch upon it. There's a YouTuber out there, which it's almost inspired me to want to put up a bunch of, tea-spilling stories about GameStop from my years of working there and my years observing them from my perch at Nintendo. I've seen a lot of crazy shit. I just want to spill some tea now while they're in the public zeitgeist and before they go out of business, because yeah, apparently it's been revealed internally that there is a bankruptcy plan. Because yeah, those fools are going bankrupt. I mean, we already know they're morally bankrupt, but apparently they're going to be financially bankrupt anytime soon, which my boss at work, he has said many times, he's very concerned that this is going to affect the game industry more than people realize. Like, I know a lot of people are rooting for that boat to sink. And yeah, and in some cases, justifiably so. That when that boat sinks, good in some cases. It'll rid the world of a terrible place full of terrible people. But unfortunately, it's going to have such an effect on the game industry that people don't realize. My boss has been harping upon that for the last year. He keeps wondering. I was like, oh man, he's hoping they don't go out of business because he says GameStop going out of business is tantamount to killing the physical media of video games. I think he's being a bit extremist. I think maybe he's maybe thinking more long term. Where like, oh yeah, this will make sure that physical media dies within the next 5 to 10 years as far as video games goes. But yeah, it's like I want to see that boat sink, but I also don't want to see the repercussions of like if it does go down. Video games, as far as the retail space goes, may get shuffled backwards to where they were in the 80s, which is for a lot of people, that's not going to be a great thing. And as I've harped upon many times on this podcast, the death of physical media is a bad thing for gaming, especially if gaming goes all digital. Many people are like, oh, gaming goes all digital, it's going to be awesome. No, it's not good. If everything goes digital media rights, then we no longer have control over games. It's all in the control of the publishers, and that's bad for consumers. We'll do another episode like that where I just dedicate to the hey, remember, end user license agreement. I don't know if Sam is still watching. We dedicated a whole episode of that a year or two ago where I talked about how, I don't know, through the internet, these publishers have a lot more control over us than we realize. We give up a lot of control when we skip the end user agreement. So, GameStop, yeah, they're in trouble. You can go on YouTube. There's this dude, Camelot. He's a former GameStop manager, and he's like, people just keep feeding him information, and he keeps throwing them under the bus at every opportunity. There's a great video I watched over the weekend where he talked about how GameStop HR actively just fires people. I'm like, they'd rather fire the person complaining than fire the person being complained against, because it's cheaper to replace a part-time employee than it is to replace a manager. So they'd rather keep the terrible human because they won't have to like train up a new manager. They'd rather, oh, that person who's working 10 hours a week, yeah, go ahead and fire that person. Yeah. Bad humans, terrible humans. Yes, I have 3 tours of duty where I've seen all that kind of nonsense. There'll be separate videos, maybe focused on that. I don't know if I want to dedicate an entire episode to setting fire to GameStop, but just I wanted to bring that up since that's been in the zeitgeist lately. But the biggest thing currently right now in popular culture, now the Oscars, that happened last night. My wife and I watched the majority of it yesterday. It was like we watched a lot of the pre-show because if you guys didn't know, my wife, she works in costumes. She loves costumes, so a lot of these outfits that the celebrities show up in, they're tantamount to being costumes. I mean, they cost as much as a costume. They take as much time to create as many costumes. So my wife was certainly enjoying all that, especially seeing one of her favorites, Billy Porter, in the magnificent gown that he was wearing. Holy crap! The man exudes fashion and loudness and energy. He has pure energy, and people don't realize. And we missed the opening because we were trying to skip some of the other pre-show. We're like, oh, we can only take so much, and we missed, I guess, the opening number where Janelle Monáe and Billy Porter were doing some sort of hooray for Hollywood music. We're gonna have to go find it on the YouTube. We didn't look for it last night because we're parents and we're trying to contain a 1-month-old child. But we did manage to watch most of the show. One of our personal favorites, Taika Waititi, he wound up winning the Oscar for the Best Adapted Screenplay, which I was actually a little shocked that it was an adapted screenplay, that there was a book about a boy with his imaginary friend, Adolf Hitler. I honestly kind of thought, I'm like, this is a crazy thought that Taika would have. No, apparently it's a crazy thought that someone else wrote a book on, and Taika was like, hey, let's do this. And yeah, I love the fact that now he is the possessor of an Oscar. And this morning I saw on Twitter that if you go on Brie Larson's Twitter account, there's a great video where like she took video of Taika like stuffing his Oscar under the seat in front of him because he's like, what do I do with this thing? He's like, all right, I have this thing now. I guess I'm gonna stick it in the seat underneath because I just don't want to hold it the whole time. He didn't want to be like Ricky Bobby, like, what do I do with my hands? What do I do with my Oscar? I don't know. It's so great because like, you see in this video, like he sees that Brie Larson is filming him, and he gives her like a little bit of a stink eye, and it's just comedy. Just Taika, even when he's not trying to be funny, he's hilarious. It's a great video. You go on. It's all over Twitter right now. It's on Brie Larson's. I guess she took the video, and it's pretty funny. One of the little things that surprised me during the Oscars, like they're doing this montage of Oscar-winning songs, and I don't know if it was like a secret. I don't know if nobody knew it was gonna happen, but like they're doing this montage of Oscar-winning songs, and then they out of nowhere, at least to me, that was a shock. I had not heard that he was gonna be. Eminem came out and performed "Lose Yourself," and my favorite part of the song was not necessarily the performance was fine. I mean, the poor guy had to work with a freaking backtrack, and I think it was a surprise because there was no rehearsal because it looked like it was all over the place. But the reaction, the crowd shots were the best part of that performance. I don't know if that video is on YouTube or not. I hope it is. I want to go back and watch because you see all the people who are about in the 30 to 40 range, just losing their shit, just rapping along with them. And then there's a quick stopover at Martin Scorsese, and you see him, he just kind of was like falling asleep and out of it. He's like, this is noise. I don't like noise. I'm old. And he's just like malfunctioning. And then like in the background, it's like, spaghetti, 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 8 Mile, 8 Mile. See, sadly, I can only hear Dave Chappelle's version of Lose Yourself in my head because that's how my brain works. This morning, as I was preparing breakfast and washing dishes, I just kept going, spaghetti, 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 8 Mile, motherfucker, 8 Mile. Just doing my Chappelle voice. So thanks to that before. But it was like, I love that Eminem doesn't look like young Eminem anymore. He's just like old man Eminem with his dark hair and just rocking the hat, and just like he looks like a fully grown adult now. He doesn't just look like a pre-present dude who spits fire. He's a grown man who's seen shit now, and he's an adult. And I as I'm sure Jai can attest, I'm sure his new music is very attuned to that grown man. I've seen shit, and I'm going to tell you about shit now that I'm older kind of music. But it was pretty cool because as they were winding down all these Oscar-winning songs, I was like, wait, are they gonna play "Lose Yourself"? I'm like, oh yeah, "Lose Yourself" did win an Oscar for Best Song. Yeah, I'm like, that'd be cool if Eminem came out and then Detroit, what? that was really cool. But I think my favorite person the entire night was the director of Parasite. And forgive me, I didn't write down his name. I'm very ill prepared for today's show. My format was hastily put together. But the director of Parasite, it was every time they won an award, he was just so funny through his translator. He was like, the first time I was like, okay, I guess they won for I believe it was Best Original Screenplay, or it was either Best Original Screenplay or Best International Film. He's like, oh, thank you so much. I'm going to drink all night. And then he wins Best Director, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna not stop drinking. It's like he kept making a reference to like he's just gonna get shit faced tonight. He's like, oh, got 2 Oscars. This is awesome. And at the end of the night, you get to Best Picture, and all of a sudden, boom, everybody thought it was going to be 1917. Nah, boom, Parasite, Best Picture. And I just thought, I'm like, my response is like, oh man, that dude's going to drink till he's blind. And then my wife come in, sniper style, just like, he's going to drink until he speaks English. And I'm like, yep, that's hilarious. That's going on the internet right now. It's on my Twitter, and it's on my Facebook right now. It's like, that whole interaction during the Best Picture. It's like, yep, that dude's gonna drink until he speaks English. It's just that's all. I need to see that movie. I don't know when I'll get to see it. When that movie shows up on HBO, or if it shows up on Netflix or wherever it eventually lands. I'm sure that's when myself and my wife we'll get a chance to consume it. I know people are running out to watch it illegally last night. I'm sure Jai T. Polidor here, I'm sure you ran out and illegally downloaded it onto your phone, as you are wont to do. And I'm sure you have already enjoyed it multiple times, or if you didn't enjoy it, I don't know. I didn't get to see any tweets or Facebook status updates where you discussed it, other than all the slagging you did of the of the Oscars yesterday. Yeah, where was it? Why can't I remember her name? Like Maya Rudolph and blank looked like an eel. She looked like lasagna. Her Kristen Wiig, thank you, from the wife sniping from the other room. Kristen Wiig looked like an eel. She looked like lasagna. It was a very interesting choice of dress. I don't know who sent her out like that. I don't know who's responsible for that, but that person needs to be spoken to. Poor life choices. I'm sure. Yeah, I know you were running smack about that last night, Mr. Jai T. Polidor. I don't know if you're still on. It says right here that you are watching, or is watching, or was watching. Who knows which one it is, here on Facebook Live. Yeah, but Parasite, I kept hearing about it, and it was crazy. I think during when they were doing all the Best Picture montage, I think those clips that they showed in there, I think I looked over at my wife. I'm like, what the hell? Like the clips in that montage, they were very out of context. Like, for those of you who watched Mad Men back in the day, it's like Mad Men was always notorious for like the next week on Mad Men, they gave you everything completely out of context and you had no idea what was going on. You're like, what in the world? So the montage of clips they play for Parasite during the Best Picture montage, and I'm like, I don't understand what's happening. Why is there a person tied up in a basement? What are they doing with that person in the basement? What's going on? Why are they squirting hot sauce on a tampon? That is very weird and out of context. I'm equally confused and intrigued by this film. I don't know. What is that? Just whoever was editing that, if their goal was mass confusion and curiosity, achievement unlocked. Well done, editor. Let's just pick out some wacky ass shit here, because this thing's about to win Best Picture. And yeah, I saw all across my Facebook timeline and Twitter, people were like, well, time to watch it. And I learned this morning, I had already seen one of the films of the director, Snowpiercer, which I don't know if any of y'all have seen Snowpiercer. That is a crazy ass movie. That movie is wild. So if Parasite is anywhere near that, I'm sure that's going to be a ride, which requires a seatbelt and possibly a barf bag. I look forward to my eventual watching of that. Something else that did haul in an Oscar today, and which my wife actually got to watch today while I was off at work, was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It was on sale yesterday on Amazon. I realized I hadn't gotten it yet, and I like to own all of Quentin Tarantino's movies. So I was like, hey, look, it's only like $16 on Amazon. I'm like, let me get it. Ordered it, showed up today. My wife popped it on, and she got to watch it today because she was not trying to watch anything like super crazy violent. But that movie was only violent for like 10 minutes at the end, tops. There's some graphic deaths, but it's about 5-10 minutes because the rest of the movie, some people say boring, I say very intriguing. Following the story, like I kept wondering what's going to happen next. When I originally watched it, I think I'm going to pop it on here either tonight or tomorrow. I'm gonna watch it again because I saw it back in the theaters, and I thoroughly enjoyed that film. Hence why I bought it yesterday. I was like, in the Oscar appreciation, like, you know what? I haven't bought this yet. It's Oscar days. It's awesome. Usually a lot of these Oscar-winning movies or Oscar-nominated movies are going to be available if they're already on Blu-ray. They're going to be on sale, and lo and behold, there was a nice little Amazon coupon, so I picked it up, and my wife got to watch it today, and then she gave it a thumbs up. She really enjoyed it, and of course, Brad Pitt, some people say it was a Lifetime Achievement Oscar. I dare say he did a really good job. I really enjoyed crazy stuntman Cliff Booth, the man who carries the load, so to speak, for Leonardo DiCaprio's character, Rick Dalton, if I remember correctly. But yeah, his character was really cool. I know I remember when that movie came out, a lot of people were like making a big deal about, oh, he beat up Bruce Lee. Oh, that's not cool. It's like, I don't know if that was more like a fantasy sequence, I think, in Cliff Booth's head while he was, fixing the roof of Rick's house, and he was like imagining himself beating up Bruce Lee. At the end of the day, it's just a movie. It's all, wacky, good fun. Lately, a lot of Q's movies have been a bit of revisionist history, so you have to take that with a grain of salt. He's writing movies to have a good time. He's not doing documentaries. He's not saying that this crazy stuntman could beat up Bruce Lee. He's just having fun. This is just... He changed, much like in Inglourious Bastards, he changed history in this movie as well. To make things a little bit more fun and or pleasant. So, take that with a grain of salt. I'm sure, but... Brad Pitt got it, Best Supporting Actor, and it was really cool, and he gave a really funny speech. Apparently, I guess I need to go track down. Thanks to the power of the internet, we can go track down all the award-winning speeches. He's been going around giving out hilarious speeches throughout all the various awards where he has won throughout this award season. So that was really cool. I was very happy that at least. Well, I think they got one other Oscar. I think they got the set design or the production design Oscar, because damn, they transformed modern Los Angeles somehow through hook or crook, through computers and through however other means they transformed current Los Angeles into 70s LA, which was really cool, in my opinion. I thought that's pretty awesome. I'm hoping that this DVD has some cool little featurettes. I'm excited to pop that in at some point during the week. Something else that was really cool. Something else I learned as we were, because I was perusing the Twitter as we were watching the award show, and now Laura Dern. I guess it never occurred to me. Sometimes I can be quite intelligent. Other times I can be incredibly dense. It's as my wife says, it's the beautiful Libra in me. She's like, you're so smart, but you're also so dumb. I'm like, I'm not too smart and I'm not too dumb. I'm not an asshole about being smart, and I'm not too much of a complete idiot. But I lie somewhere in that nebulous middle. I didn't know that Laura Dern was the daughter of Bruce Dern. That was one thing I learned yesterday. And the second thing I learned about Laura Dern was she kind of got blackballed from Hollywood for a good decade or so. When she was on the Ellen's original sitcom, when she was the female significant other to Ellen, when Ellen came out, apparently that got her kind of barred from Hollywood, because in good old homophobic Hollywood back then in the 90s was like, oh no, get her out of here. We can't have any of this gay stuff around here. Yeah, it's insane. And I was reading how the writer of that episode won an Emmy and then didn't really work again. And I was like, fucking crazy ass Hollywood. Obviously nowadays I think things are starting to turn the other way. Thankfully, hashtag Me Too, hashtag all the other things where we're trying to turn things around here. But man, I was tripping out on that, but it's good. She kicked so much ass in Marriage Story, which I had not watched. My wife knocked it out last week or the week before, and she said it was amazing. That I need to sit down and watch it. In my current emotional state, I've been far too emotional watching movies. I've had. I think last week I was just trying to watch a bunch of dumb guy movies, and just to try not to trigger my daddy emotions. But what was weird in watching a bunch of dumb guy movies? It's like, man, I don't enjoy those as much as I did when I was 20. I went back and I watched the original Bad Boys, and man, it's amazing how the mind's eye can change over time. I was like. I understand that they're supposed to bitch at each other the whole movie, because that's the way partners bitch at each other. I mean, me and my bestie J.T. Polliter, we've always joked that he's the Mike Lauer to my Marcus Burnett, and we've always had that kind of relationship. But I don't think I've ever given him that kind of shit, the way the two characters treat each other in Bad Boys 1, and then subsequently I watched Bad Boys 2 right after. And it's like the amount of just pulling down the pants and crapping on each other. I'm like, I tease my boy Jai and he teases me back, but we don't kick each other in the dick like they're kicking, verbally or sometimes physically. They're trashing each other, and I was just like, oh man, again, then also these are Michael Bay movies, and I didn't realize how these Michael Bay movies were upon further review, because I had not watched Bad Boys or Bad Boys 2 probably since Bad Boys 2 had come out way back when, 15 or 17 years ago. And upon further review, I was like, wow, these really are super duper Michael Bay. And I thought, it's like, oh yeah, Michael Bay started getting bad after Bad Boys. I'm like, no, he's always been Michael Bay. Hey, things are getting boring. Let's blow some shit up. Hey, let's make some inappropriate things happen. All right, look at this. I don't know. Maybe it's just the dad in me. Maybe I'm just like I'm judging things differently now. I'm an old man and also a dad. It's like I'm rejudging stuff that I enjoyed when I was younger. I'm trying to think. There was something else I popped in the other day here because many times when I'm spending time here with my son, it's like I'm just gonna pop something on and to pass the time here while I'm keeping my boy occupied. And I forgot there was some other movie I popped on. I'm like, wow, this did not age well either. I can't remember. My brain's not working. Yeah, I'm not working with a full set of cards lately. As all you dads keep telling me, sleep is a premium that you don't always get. Well, my wife and I have been working hard to sleep in shifts, but easier said than done. But something else that, something that I did still enjoy, purely because it's ridiculous. Harvey Birdman, attorney at law. I'm like, where is it? I got it here. I pulled this out of the archives. I was watching old Harvey Birdman here. That was still making me laugh. That was the different kind of silly I was looking for. Just silly, ridiculous mindlessness. That was still. I was still getting some full belly laughs and catching stuff that I didn't catch way back when. So that was a good time. I'm trying to see what there was another movie I popped on and I was just like, huh. 20-year-old me, because I was going through my whole DVD collection. I was going through my storage and pulling stuff out. So my wife can have a lot more stuff to watch because she's been here all day taking care of our son. So I've been trying to increase the repertoire or the availability of media here. And I'm going through my stuff. I'm like, oh my god, my whole DVD collection is a bunch of dumb guy movies. I'm like, yeah. When I was buying all those movies, all those back in the DVD was the primary format. Yeah, I was a dumb guy in my 20s. So yeah, a lot of that stuff is just like, woof. Just not a lot of stuff that's conducive to the feelings of a female. Like real talk. I think my Blu-ray collection is a little bit better, but that's a lot more stuff that's still in my other storage. I mean, it's been a rough go of it, but thankfully she still has her HBO Go and her Hulu, so I'm sure she finds other stuff to watch via streaming apps. But yeah, it's just like I'm taking stock of my collection, so to speak, and I'm like, huh. It's really interesting when you go back and look at your own personal library of media, stuff that you may or may not have watched in the last 20 years. I think my wife was going through her media. She had a whole bunch of VHS tapes, and then I think the other day she just got fed up. She's like, I'm just gonna get rid of all of these, and one of her friends is gonna just relieve us of her VHS collection. But I was like, I'm still keeping my Star Wars VHS because that's my only means of watching the original trilogy, the unaltered versions that I oh so dearly love. And all these people bitch about oh no, they keep changing Star Wars. I'm like, the old ones still exist. I can still watch them though. Those haven't been erased from existence. As long as I still got those VHS ones, I'm still good. I can still access those in some way, shape, or form. That was a great tweet I saw the other day where people are bitching about reboots of cartoons, and it's like, you understand that cartoon's not meant for you. It's meant for someone who's currently 5 years old. It's like, yeah, they were rebooting Thundercats. Yeah, this Thundercat's not for you. I'm like, oh, no, they ruined it. I'm like, no, they didn't ruin it. They modernized it for a child. You are not a child. You can enjoy childish things, but you can't bitch about it. Go back. They all still exist. I have my OG Transformers G1 on DVD. I can always revisit those and go back and go, wow, there were some really tissue-thin plots back in the day. Woof. Hey, Facebook crowd, y'all have been really quiet today. It's been 30 minutes and nobody has a comment? I'm just curious. Those of you watching, are comments disabled today? Did I disable the comments? Or is there something wrong here? Anybody home? As we like to say, it's a lot more fun when there's a little more interaction with my live audience. I mean, obviously, the people who are listening to the audio version later, those people on SoundCloud, that's they obviously can't interact with the show, but yeah, there's at least 3 of you watching right now. Any comments? Nothing? I mean, you don't have to. I'm just curious. I like to have discussion and thought. Usually, I normally have a cohort here to banter back and forth, but not today. Like, I was kind of counting on my live audience here. Anybody home? No one there? But I guess the last thing I'm going to talk about in regards to the Oscars, I was kind of dancing around this one. It was funny because in the lead up to the Oscars, I oddly did not want Joker to really win any. You would think, being the big nerd that I am, I would want a comic book movie to be successful in the award shows. But I don't consider Joker to be a comic book movie. It's a movie about a comic book character, but that movie, it's yeah, the comments aren't showing. Oh, see, I got a message from Kiet here. The comments are not showing. How weird. I don't know why the comments are not showing. How weird. I'm sure that means people have been commenting, and I cannot see them. Why are there no comments? This is whack, yo. Oh, I'm sorry. Then it's not your fault, my viewing audience. It's something is up with the Facebooks. I'm sure after the fact, once I post this, there'll be all these comments of people asking questions, and I have not been able to respond. I just got a Facebook message from the Corrections and Retractions Department, Kiet Fam, saying that he tried to comment, but it's not showing up. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what happened. I don't know if there's some sort of a adjustment that needs to be made. I don't know if I clicked something wrong. Why are they not showing? Weird. Very weird. But as I was saying, I don't consider Joker to be a comic book movie. It's a movie with a comic book character, but that movie's about depression. That movie's about mental health. That movie's it's incredibly depressing. And as a person who's fought mental health for some reason, I don't know. I guess maybe just for me, it was kind of incredibly triggering. For me, when I watched, I didn't enjoy it. It was not for me. Clearly, $1 billion worth of people enjoyed that movie, but it's just like it's not my cup of tea. It's just yeah, it was a rough go, and I don't know, I've just been resistant to that film altogether. Just the one viewing that I had, I'm like, no, I'm good. I don't need to own this movie. I don't want to. Much like The Room, I can go the rest of my life not watching that movie again. It was just I know some other people like to tear it down because it's just playing the Scorsese hits. It's Taxi Driver, but with a clown. It's it just don't get me wrong. The performance of Joaquin Phoenix, that was he played a person fighting mental health incredibly well, and obviously well enough that he won the Best Actor Oscar last night. And it's funny. Like I was telling my wife, I hope that movie doesn't win anything because I don't want this movie to be put up on a pedestal. It's like, this is the greatest thing ever. I'm like, it was a film. It was well made, but I mean, for people like me who've fought depression, who fought crazy thoughts, who fought all kinds of unpleasant things in their head, it's a rough trip. It's not a fun ride. Not pleasant at all. It was a very unsettling movie for me. I watched the whole thing. I didn't walk out of it, but it was just like I just kept like waiting to like, is this? I'm like, where are we going here? Is this gonna be just pure sadness the whole way through? Yep, this crazy land, crazy town, not fun. But yeah, Joaquin won the Best Actor, and yeah, justifiably so. Best Actor. He did an amazing job. And the speech that he gave, and honestly, I think that turned me on. And then his speech that he gave was very heartfelt, and that's where it turned me around. Where I'm glad he won. I'm like, you know what? I'm glad he won because he clearly had some stuff he wanted to get off his chest, and I'm glad he did. Some people have been trashing him and for it, and many others have been praising him. You can count me among those who would praise him. Like, you know what? He wanted to use his platform for positivity. He wanted to, trying to make everybody understand, all of our problems are human problems at the end of the day. Like one set of problems is not more important than others. We all have to work towards the goal of being better as a whole human race. And I thought people really got triggered by that. People were like, "Wait, my problem is more important than the other problems," and that's a whole other set of issues there. But yeah, it was like, because and I felt bad for him because everyone kept clapping. And he's like, "Nah, motherfuckers, you cutting my time. Let me finish. I'm gonna need you to let me finish. I'm trying to get to the full point here." And it was like everyone's like, because people say, "Oh, Hollywood, the liberal Hollywood," it's like, oh, that's like the base of liberals, and everyone's, and obviously the majority of people were supporting his message, and I was like, yo, and then he's like, stop. He kept saying like, stop clapping. Let me do a complete full speech without clapping. Like I'm sure they can clap all they want at the end, but it's like when this speech gets replayed, there's gonna be all those awkward applause breaks in the middle that were not intended by Mr. Phoenix, and it just, and then yeah, and what really broke my heart at the end is like he brought up his poor departed brother River, and he made a quote about it. Like, damn, that was like brutal. And then my wife was asking me, like, didn't he have, like, wasn't his brother River Phoenix? I'm like, yeah, that was his brother. And damn, it was just it was funny because she had asked like just like a minute before he brought up River, and it was just damn. It's a very emotional speech given by Joaquin. It's like, I was like, it's cool. You know what? The fact that there's an Oscar associated with Joker, that's fine, because he deserved it on many levels for that, and for that crazy ass performance. It was very well acted. He embodied a crazy person. For me personally, yeah, just, too many raw nerves were kind of hit with that movie. Too many, just like, nope, not pleasant. Don't like it. I can go through the rest of my life without watching that movie again. Seriously. Yeah, beyond that, overall Oscars, there's a lot of wacky stuff. Actually, it was the Kristen Wiig and Maya Rudolph. Everyone's focusing on their outfits, but their bit was pretty funny. I missed the Will Ferrell bit that he did with Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Apparently, they did some sort of bit that they didn't know what cinematography was. I missed that bit. And the whole no host thing is like a part of it is like, I guess technically it was supposed to speed things up, but they had to keep, the irony was like getting rid of the host, like, supposed to cut out things, but they had to keep going to presenters to present the presenters. All right, let's go to this person who's not the host, and they're going to present the presenters because someone has to present them. They can't, I guess for whatever reason, they can't just do the disembodied voice of someone, like, or disembodied freaking announcement voice. And now, here is, Oscar Isaac and Salma Hayek. And if you saw on Twitter, I said there was entirely too much sexiness going on the stage all at once. You put the handsome Oscar Isaac next to the gorgeous Salma Hayek, you're just going to short people out. Honestly. Good Lord. The cute line where like Salma grabs Oscar's hand and says, "This is the closest I'm ever going to holding an Oscar." I thought that was cute and adorable, but still, too much sexiness going on. My God, be still my heart. Yes, I have a man crush on Oscar Isaac. Live with it and deal with it. Beyond that, yeah, the Oscars. It was I was surprised this morning when I read that this was the lowest rated Oscars. I guess the ratings for the Oscar telecast have been plummeting over time. I guess people just don't care about watching them. I asked my brother today, like, did you watch the Oscars? Like, nope. I just kept up with it on social media, just as things were announced. Just look. And I guess maybe that's the attitude for most people. There's no need to watch the 3.5 hour telecast. That just meanders. I guess at some points it kind of meanders on for some people. I kept realizing, man, I feel bad for the audience. That audience is just sitting on ass for so long. I think during the news they're cutting away, or in the news afterwards they're cutting away to some of the people like, oh, I'm glad I wasn't invited. It's so much more fun to just be here at the party and not be stuck there sitting in a chair. And I can see the merit in that comment. It kind of makes sense to. Not being trapped at the Dolby Theater and having them try to get out of that madness or be stuck there for 3.5 hours of pontificating. I know Jai, he had some very pointed comments about what the Oscars has degenerated into, and I'd say he's not wrong. I mean, it's still enjoyable. I love movies. I don't love movies as much as Doug Benson does, but I still love movies. I still love the medium of movies. It's still something that I still enjoy to this day, and I'm sure to the end of my days I will still enjoy the medium of movies. But I feel like the way I enjoy movies is constantly evolving as I become a crabbier old man. So I think it's at that point, especially I can't see your guys' comments. If anyone's commenting, this is unfortunate. I'll see if I'll go into the Facebook and see why. Why is there no comments? This is awkward. All right, so as always, you can always follow us at DreGP Podcast. That works on Twitter. That works here on Facebook. That works on Instagram. On all of those major social media platforms at DreGP Podcast. Yeah, I've been tweeting a lot. That Twitter is fun now for me. I'm having fun with it. You can find us there. You can find daddy updates on Instagram. I've been posting up some fun dad updates of my journey as a father on there. And then you can always catch old episodes and all the current episodes of our show on YouTube. Just search for Dre's Geek Philosophy Podcast on YouTube. There's a bunch of stuff there. I've also been doing some other gaming videos. Some of them are related to my work. There's a bunch of stuff going up there as well. Just check it out. I've been doing some fun stuff there. Dre's Geek Philosophy on YouTube. As always, we have a Patreon. If you want to help support the show, want to make it a little bit easier for us to pay all the back end stuff, because a lot of stuff is not free. You know, hosting a podcast and keeping all the episodes up so people can find them is not free. So patreon.com/Dre's Geek Philosophy, or just search for Dre's Geek Philosophy Podcast on Patreon. I'm not asking for you guys to give me like $20 a month. If you could spare $1 a month, or or you could be awesome like Daniel Wong. He contributes $5 a month. That goes a long way to helping me pay for the SoundCloud account, and then at some point I'm gonna have money to upgrade some of the equipment here. That constantly needs upgrades. I mean, sometimes when this camera holder breaks, or when this microphone stops working, I've already gone through one microphone. I'm on the backup microphone now. This stuff isn't made to last. It's quite unfortunate. It's not like the olden days when a company would make something that would last you 20 years. Nowadays, they build stuff for it to fall apart within a year or two, so that way you can go get the new one. Bullshit, I say. Bullshittery. Thank you for watching. And you can always go to my Etsy shop if you want to support us directly. Etsy.com/shop/Dre's Geek Philosophy. Lots of fun stuff on there. At some point when I have some free time, I'm going to add some more stuff on there. We'll see. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. This has been Dre's Geek Philosophy. We'll be back here next week live, as usual, on Monday night. Probably be late again. We're parents now. Hey, it's chaos here in our little cat house. A 1 month old. You see, my brain doesn't even work. I have daddy brain. This is insane. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We'll see you guys next week. Hopefully next week I can see comments. I got to figure that out. Have a good night.